Ring of Rock Eating. This ring was crafted with the strongest materials that the mines of Dimlo-Dur have to offer. While wearing this ring, your body gains the ability to digest and gain nourishment from rocks. Requires attunement. Winds of the Forest Cape. This dark green cape resembles a large leaf. Once per day, you can wrap it around yourself, becoming a leaf. You are then blown on the wind, having no control of where you fly. However, you are fully aware of your surroundings and can get out safely at any time. Rat's Tail Whip. +1 whip, uncommon, requires attunement. When attuned to this whip, you gain proficiency in the sleight of hand skill. When you use this whip to attack a creature, you can forego one of your attacks and attempt to pickpocket the creature at range. If your attack hits, make a sleight of hand check against the target's passive perception. If you succeed, you can choose to catch an object the creature doesn't have in their hand that you can see and bring it toward you. You can catch it if you have a free hand.
I, through my own mind and research, have transcended far beyond the pitiful frail forms which the gods gave us. Forms which are like a joke played by the creators upon their own creations. I treat the mortal coil like a game of transhumanist Jenga.
Restore the natural order. Necromancy is scary, and being mortal is good, actually.
Pearl of Martial Power. While attuned to this pearl, you can use an action to speak its command word and regain one expended class ability or feature. Once you have used the pearl, it can't be used again until the next dawn. In D&D, magic has a variety of different uses and abilities. One spell is Resurrection. It's a 7th level spell that ends up bringing a dead character back to life, which is great. However, there is one tiny detail that is overlooked. This spell closes all mortal wounds and restores any missing body parts. So if you were to use Resurrection on an NPC who was a dude and was circumcised, this will also uncircumcise you. Broomstick. This relic from another time and place has been rigged with gnomish trickery and fused with dark magic. You can make a ranged attack with this weapon 6 times a day. Alternatively, you can saddle the weapon and ride it through the air. Using one of its charges for attacking, you pull the trigger and are blasted upwards 60 feet or forwards 300 feet per round. If used in this way, this weapon acts as if it has the spell Featherfall on it. The charges are replenished at dawn of the next day. Jar of Leeches. As a bonus action, you can put the enchanted leeches on your skin to heal 2d4 HP every round for 3 rounds. Duck of Undetectibility. This duck can function as a helm. The wearer, upon donning it, must make a will save of DC 50, or else be completely unable to detect the duck by any means, magical, mundane, or divine. No other individuals are affected. One of our players accidentally mispronounced another character's name as Shakira. The DM, without missing a beat, your hips have permanent disadvantage on all deception checks. Shakira the Cleric. Why should sorcerers be the only one to get wild magic? If you want to check out another subclass that has wild magic, you can always go to the official content and look up the Barbarian, or you can use my Homebrew Wild Magic Bard. The College of Untamed Bard comes with its own unique subclass abilities and its own 1d20 Wild Magic Bard chart, and it's free to download. So we're asking today, anyone have any good ideas for completely useless magical items? What I have so far: Magnifying Glass of Ant Speak. Only works in sunlight. Boots of Extra Action. As an action, the wearer can tap the heels together to gain an extra action. Stone of Gravity Detection. Hammer of Slashing. Divination 8 Ball. Self-invisibility bracers. Only makes the wearer invisible to themselves. Staff of Ealing. Summons 1d4 eels. Ring of Fire Detection. When worn, changes color in the presence of fire. Touch range. Staff of Buggery. Always seems to poke people in inappropriate places. They will be furious with you. Rock of Cleaning. It's always clean and without any moss. Solar powered Ring of Light. Provides light in a 60-foot radius as long as the wearer has 60 feet of sunlight around them. Loaf of Nourishment. Eating this bread makes you less hungry. The Beast Summoner. Summon one medium beast for 1 hour, once per long rest. I'm going to add an addendum here. It must be a CR 1/2 or less creature. Otherwise, it undermines the ranger or the druid. Unicorn Song. An uncommon potion. The method used to create this music box came to its maker by accident. It is his claim to fame among arcane scholars. Thought to be cursed, Petra has never played its song for fear of what it might do. It casts sleep on all targets within a 5-foot radius. All creatures must make a wisdom saving throw of 14 or they are asleep and prone for 2 minutes or until they take damage again. Playing D&D. Digging through a floating scrapyard in the astral plane, chock full of magic items. Roll on a loot table. You find a sword. Sweet, what is it? Well, I can't just tell you outright. How would you know? That wouldn't make sense to just know immediately. Fair enough. Can I get a physical description? It's about time to pack it up and leave. I'll tell you next session. Next session. So DM, can we sort out the deets on this magic sword now? Sure, what did it look like? My face went. Arrows of Balance. When you make an attack using this ammunition, you roll 2d10 instead of a d20 on the attack roll. On a hit, plus 1d6 piercing damage. Cape of Bees. This cape has alternating black and yellow stripes. Once per day, as an action, you can flap open this cape and release a deadly swarm of bees against your enemies. Garden Cape. This brown cape is the exact color of moist dirt and smells of earth. You can lay the cape on the ground and it becomes a patch of fertile ground. You can plant any fruit or vegetable seed within a maximum of 3 varieties. The plant will never grow beyond 5 cubic feet. By grabbing the clasp of this cape, you can pull it up. The plants form into the cape, creating a beautiful garden mural on it. The plants grow as if they were in favorable light and conditions. Unless it is a specialty plant, it never requires water or maintenance. Gloves of Signing. These gloves come in many different styles and threaded with simple magic. A creature can use these gloves to sign the verbal components of a spell instead of speaking aloud. Creature must know proper sign language and any racial dialect in order to properly use it. The size of the glove will change according to the user. Hammer of Armorsmith. A blacksmith's hammer with a precious gem placed in the head. Mace, 1d6 bludgeoning damage. Shape metal. On a hit, when a creature is wearing armor that contains metal, reduce that creature's AC by 1. Any time spent crafting or repairing metal armor using this hammer is halved. Helm of Narration. While wearing this helm, you gain +1 bonus to AC and can cast the Thaumaturgy cantrip. This helm is cursed. Attuning to it curses you until you are targeted by the remove curse spell or similar magic. Removing the helm fails to end the curse on you. All physical actions you make are audibly narrated by the helm itself, causing you to have disadvantage on stealth checks. Author's note. In order to save the voice of the DM, this can be implied narration for the duration, without having to constantly narrate each action after the curse is discovered. This is also your best opportunity to use that narrator voice that you've always wanted to try out. Channel that inner Morgan Freeman. I do a terrible Morgan Freeman. The Paladin kicking down the door. You must be cocky, Lich, for you have no traps set around your lair.
This is my house. Why the hell would I trap my house?
I mean,
what if I want a snack at 1 a.m. and I step into a bear trap? There goes my appetite.
Useless minor magic item. Bag of renewable air. Once per day, the bag of renewable air seems to have fresh and clean air inside it. It would be like opening a Ziploc bag of clean air. Any item placed within the bag and left past midnight disappears. Water testing sticks. These little pieces of paper on the end of toothpick sticks will glow softly when inserted in different liquids to identify poison. The little known problem is they only glow 2 colors, blue with water, purple in any other drink. Book of Forgetfulness.
Any memory written into the Book of Forgetfulness ends up being forgotten by the writer for 1d12 days. This does not begin to take effect until the book is closed. Necklace of Minor Prestidigitation. The wearer of the Necklace of Minor Prestidigitation allows them to cast Prestidigitation. The effects of the cantrip are only sensed, seen, heard, felt, etc. by the caster.
Viper Whip. +1 whip 1d4, +1d6 poison damage. Once per day, on a successful hit, you can cause the viper head of the whip to bite a target creature. For the next 12 hours, you are able to determine what direction the creature is in within 1,000 meters, whether they are dead or alive. The Stabshroom. It is unclear if this fungal +1 dagger is of natural or crafted origin. Nevertheless, it emits a bioluminescent glow and contains a powerful poison. You gain a +1 to attack and damage rolls. The dagger does 1d4 slashing damage, and, on a hit, the target must succeed a DC 15 Constitution saving throw, or take 1d8 poison damage. If you roll a natural 1, the dagger emits a burst of spores, which cloud your vision. You must succeed a DC 15 Constitution saving throw, with disadvantage, or take 1d8 poison damage. Additionally, even if you succeed, you are blinded for 1d4 rounds. I played with and DM for someone who, whenever someone tried an ability check and failed, she would roll a d20 and proclaim that if it was her attempting it, she would have succeeded. Also complained when my Circle of Moon Druid would deal more damage as a grizzly bear than her barbarian. I was rolling well that night. The Alchemy Jug is a very interesting magic item that produces a variety of different liquids, including acid, ale, mayonnaise, oil, poison, vinegar, fresh or salt water, and wine. Some older editions of D&D also had ammonia, aqua regia, alcohol, chlorine, and cyanide. Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawford both were working for Wizards of the Coast to make 5th edition in an office that didn't have AC.
We got to the Alchemy Jug and we were both so exhausted and we were both so infuriated by the heat. We started to put in stupid ideas for what the Alchemy Jug could possibly spit out. The one that we left in was mayonnaise.
Chris wasn't even sure if mayo existed in D&D. There are a couple of references from official content before 5th edition. Both Mordenkainen and Elminster have had the substance, and the former has this to say during one of his adventures to Earth. "Have you had such a thing about as the making of a sandwich? In this world once, I was introduced to something called mayo." D&D magic item, Shadow Robes. Once worn by a ferocious bone claw, these robes carry a supernatural chill within its thread. Frigid darkness. You have resistance to cold damage. Black Veil. You may take the hide action as a bonus action while in dim light or darkness. Shadow Step. Twice a day, as a bonus action, while in dim light or darkness, you can magically teleport up to 60 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. You can bring one creature you are grappling, teleporting that creature to an unoccupied space you can see within 5 feet of your destination. The destination spaces of this teleportation must be in dim light or darkness. You leave behind a cloud of necrotic energy, forcing all creatures within 5 feet of that location to make a Constitution saving throw DC 14. If failed, they take 5d12 necrotic damage. Jellyfish Cap. Created by a benevolent sea witch, this cap is infused with the power of a giant jellyfish. The cap makes you immune to poison damage and the poisoned condition. Your hair never gets wet or messy while wearing this cap. You feel drawn to the sea. Jellyfish Grace. While wearing the jellyfish cap, you can breathe underwater and you have a swimming speed of 60 feet. You can communicate with jellyfish, and they are always friendly to you unless you harm them first. Jellyfish Wrath. When a creature within 30 feet hits you with an attack, you can use your reaction and expel poisonous cells from your jellyfish cap. The creature must make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw, taking 1d6 poison damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. Fool's Coin Purse. This coin purse is bland except for a golden clasp in the shape of a jester. You can place any small, non-magical item of value in the bag, such as a gem or coin, and the bag will create the illusion that there are 99 more of that item inside of it. Creatures looking inside the bag must make a Wisdom saving throw DC 20 to see past the illusion. Illusory items taken from the bag will stay solid for 1 minute and then vanish into smoke.
No, see? I'm willing to trade you all these rubies for that silly magical axe. It's actually kind of a bad deal for me. Maybe you can throw in that magical armor too.
An NPC died after the party couldn't find a cure for his vampirism. After the session, a player tells me that the NPC death is bothering him, and he thinks he's not in a good mental state to play a game like this. I tell him to take a break and let me know when he feels like he can handle it. Player texts me a paragraph about how shitty it was that I just said fuck him, and he's gonna take the opportunity to cut people like me out of his life, since I don't give a damn about him. I honestly thought the conversation was going well. I honestly can't point to a time when we were talking, and it seemed like he wasn't upset until he texted me. Taxblade. While out of combat, you can place up to 10 gold coins into the circular slots in this blade. During combat, you can use a bonus action to activate this blade by expending at least 1 coin already placed in its slots. Once activated, your next attack with this weapon gains +1 to your attack and damage roll for every coin you expend. The attack is considered magical. When a coin is expended, it melts away and is destroyed.
Wizard Council 2021 Banned Spell List. Unending Penis Barrage. Summon Ketamine Ape. Greater Baja Blast. Transmute Idaho. Homoerotic Vortex.
When Ketamine Ape is outlawed, only outlaws will summon Ketamine Ape. You fools have dug your own wizard graves. The boots giveth, the boots taketh away. A pair of sturdy leather boots that render the wearer invisible. The wearer's footsteps, however, are amplified to near-deafening volume. The boots of questionable stealth. Angel's Fist. This white-gloved fist swirls around its owner in a slow and lazy circle. It can easily be pushed out of the way, and is not resistant to anything unless it's in combat. It cannot unclench, and can only be used to punch things. Once per round, you can use your free action to mentally command the fist to strike a foe within 5 feet of you. Make an unarmed attack with proficiency, adding your intelligence modifier to the attack roll. The damage is 1d4 plus intelligence modifier bludgeoning damage. You can choose to spend a bonus action to charge the punch, striking an enemy at 10 feet and doing 2d4 plus intelligence modifier bludgeoning damage. Rumors swirl about fists that have been magically enchanted by powerful wizards, said to sparkle or to be coated in gold. They allegedly strike with more accuracy and force than their normal counterpart. When the first-time player starts getting excited about the 14-page backstory for the level 1 wizard with 8 constitution.
Concern!
When I first started playing D&D, the GM gave us pre-made characters to speed things along on a tutorial quest. I got a cleric, and reading through the abilities, I was super hyped. We got ambushed by a mixture of zombies and skeletons, and I rolled high enough to go first. So I turned to the GM and say, I use Turn Undead to become a zombie too, so I can talk our way out of this. They shouldn't attack me because I'm one of them, right? You cinnamon bun. I can't stop laughing. More dumb magic items for your D&D campaign. A sword that inflicts emotional wounds. A hat that, when left alone with another hat, will mate and produce hybrid offspring. Negative gold pieces. A map that is the territory. Armor that becomes more effective the uglier the wearer. A living pocket watch that never needs winding, but if you don't feed it, it dies. It's an obligate carnivore. Goggles that put sensor bars over monsters of the aberrant type. An instructional tome in the secret language of ducks. A dagger that glows in the presence of one particular goblin. Angry shoes.
Lesser known dice in D&D. 2-sided die. Flip a coin. 1-sided die. I'm the DM, and I said so. Playing D&D, wizard gets into a fight with an important NPC. When the wizard realizes who the NPC is, he apologizes and asks, "As a token of my goodwill, would you like me to make you a magical sword?" NPC agrees. Wizard casts polymorph and turns them into a sword. Argues that the NPC shouldn't have a will save because they agreed to it. Be me, Lawful Evil Blood Cleric, Chaotic Good, Zealot Barbarian. Be not me, party of 7 others plus DM. Traveling.exe. Party up to this point has yet to meet Blood Cleric personality named Gilgrom. Get stopped for a toll. Toll is at least 10 GP a person. Soviet Union.mp3. High insight checks reveal they are lying. The party readies for a fight as 4 ogres pop out from cover, all with massive crossbows. I, as Barbarian mode, rush the leader. Get hit with a Cone of Cold, enough damage to force the swap save. Fail, is now a squishy, unarmored cleric. You're locked in here with me, .jpg. Next round, use Channel Divinity to take over Oni. Force him to make an attack against one of the ogres, and then kneel before me. Now you flooped up, .mp3. Oni, after taking a ton of damage and now scared shitless, turns invisible and runs away. This is how a character ability introduction should be done. Lesser Restoration as a finishing move. Be me, Baymax-inspired Warforged Grave Cleric. Be in a bar with party members. Spot a very drunk fighter. Helpful mode activated. Get a mug of water and go to his table, offering it to him. He is predictably pissed. Throws the water at me and slams the mug onto the table upside down. Throws punch. Miss. I do nothing. Throws punch. Miss. Still being Baymax. Throws punch. Hits. Step forward, cast Lesser Restoration to cure poison, and by extension, his drunkenness. Fighter instantly sober, apologizes, and we sit and chat for the night.
I am Baymax, your personal healthcare companion.
Useless minor magic item. Stone Compass. It's a stone that has been made into a compass and possesses a minor enchantment on it. Instead of pointing north, it points to the closest object made out of stone. Semi-sentient Sword of Puppeteers. This sword is only sentient when held. The holder's voice is muted, and any words the character would say seem to come from the sword instead. In a whimsical and over-animated voice. Invisible Bottle. The bottle itself is invisible. However, the contents are not. The invisible stopper that was originally made with the bottle has long been lost, and replaced with a regular cork.